If ever you're looking for an option and you can't find it in the ribbon, then you could always use the search in the ribbon option here. So that's the ribbon. Next, we have our navigation pane. Now, there are no entries here. I guess as a test, we can add an entry. So let's say I want to add a Remote Desktop Manager entry here. I can entry 1. So we can look at this now. So obviously I haven't configured it properly, so I won't get all of the necessary options here in the dashboard, but you'll notice that right away it's been added to the navigation pane. So this is where an entry you would find them basically. If ever you're looking for an entry in particular and you cannot find it, our filter option here will allow you to search for the entries within the navigation pane. So right now at the bottom, we can notice that we have a few options. So in the SQLite, I can view the vault in its entirety. I can view the open sessions. So if there are only a few sessions that are open, this is where I can find them, right? I can look at my favorites. So there is an option to add favorites to your entries. So say there are entries that you're frequently using, you can favorite them here. This is where you'd find all of them once you do that. We have our recent entries. So if ever you're looking to use an entry that you don't remember the name to, and you know you've used it recently, you can find them here. And lastly, we have our account information. So if ever you were to use, or you'd like to figure out what it is that your account setup is like, this is where you could find that. So you'll notice that we have our options from earlier in the startup wizard. So you could change it here. Go back to the vault. So that's the navigation pane. And lastly, we have our dashboard, right? Basically, this is our working area. So if we're ever using the dashboard, this is where you'll find all of your options regarding entries. Now, again, I don't have as many options here because I haven't configured it all the way, right? I only named the entry. Our attachments can be found here. So if there are files that you'd like to attach to this particular entry, any documents, whatever, images, this is where you would do that. So we can click our little plus button here and add attachments. Macro script tools. So again, this is where you'd find your macro scripts and tools. So if you have any macros set up within the data source, you'll find up here. You can also use our remote tools down here. And we have our tools up here. Our assets. So if we have any information regarding the type of machine we're using, if we'd like to figure out all sorts of information, we could go through here and find that information. And our logs. So our logs will show us how the entry has been changed, when it was opened, when it was added in our cases. The only thing that's visible, all sorts of information regarding the actual entry itself. So it won't show you what's going on within the entry. So if you're connected to the entry, it won't show you what applications have been used in the remote session, what searches were made within Windows, or all sorts of information of the sort. Instead, this is really regarding the entry and its properties and when it was used to connect, when it was used to edit its properties, all that sort of thing. We can choose the date if ever it's necessary. Like there's a particular date you'd like to know today, yesterday. You can make it custom last month. So you can choose the date, local time as well. So if you would like to give the original time, local time, or your UTC time, this is where you can change that. And once this is all done, you can refresh and it'll reload the options here. So that's basically what the work area is for Remote Desktop Manager. This is the dashboard. Lastly, we have our file options. So if ever you're looking for anything in particular regarding your account or regarding maybe imports, right, or the data sources that Remote Desktop Manager is using, or templates or settings, right, this is where you'll find them. So we'll have our Devolutions account here. Our backup option is here as well. Since we can back up using an SQLite, we can either make a backup in the cloud or we can make a backup through our file, right? So we can make a local backup instead of giving it in the cloud. Background services. So if ever you're using any synchronizers, this is where you could automate them. Our account settings, as I mentioned, we could manage the master key as well. It's a very useful option. We could import entries. We could export entries. We could set up our templates. We can view our settings, which is where you'll find user interface settings, as well as many more. These are all settings that are local to RDM only. And we have our exit button should we wish to exit the application. So that's basically the UI. You'll notice that there's a few more little options. So we have our backup option here. We could grab the keyboard input, right? So this is really to make sure that everything going on in your keyboard is directed towards RDM and not outside of RDM, since some applications try to prioritize themselves when you're using your keyboard. So this option helps with that, making RDM the priority. And we have our quick connect feature up here. So earlier we saw it in view, but if you wanted to use it right away, it's up here. We have our refresh properties and new entry options up here, which again, we found in edit, but they're always up here if necessary. We can also lock the application, and we can choose to remove any of these options up here by clicking the two little lines here. As you can see, RDM offers a wide range of options on how you can configure the UI on a per user basis and find options and entries within it. If you're stuck trying to find the right setting for the right job, don't hesitate to use the search option, and remember that most of the actions and tools you'll be using will be displayed in the ribbon or the dashboard. If you have further questions or simply wish to enrich your knowledge on the subject of window layouts or the Remote Desktop Manager UI, then our documentation and knowledge base pages are there to help.